Helldivers 2 was released over a week ago, and a lot of people are saying it's pretty good. I thought they were lying to me, so I bought the game and decided to see what the hype was all about. To my surprise, the game is actually pretty good. The game is visually stunning, and combined with the awesome soundtrack, this makes for a gorgeous game for you to look at. I just think everything about this game is perfectly crafted to give you a sense of the world that you're about to explore. Everything from the intro video to even the tutorial that they make you do in the beginning of the game. This game is doing something very different, and a lot of people are picking up on it, which is why I feel like everyone is trying to play it. I will get some of my criticisms out of the way, but at the time of recording this video, the servers are hit or miss. When I try to log in, sometimes the servers in this game are just too full and you just aren't able to join. When it gets this bad, sometimes I would have to wait 7 to 10 minutes just to be able to go into the game. These times might vary depending on the time you play, but if you wanted to get a quick gaming session in before, you go to a function or something, you might expect to wait a bit. Lately, I haven't been running into these issues, but you never know. The developers are trying to increase the server capacity, but from what I've heard around the internet is it doesn't work. Because whatever higher threshold that they set it to, it was already too full already. The wait isn't too bad, just, watch some TikTok videos or something and you won't even notice it. I know it's a good or bad thing depending on your perspective, but it's just a testament to how good the game really is. People really want to play it, and I think the developers might have underestimated the success of this game, so I really hope that the game gets its shit together so you guys can seamlessly experience it without any issues. The other thing I want y'all to know is how many times the game crashes. This game crashes often, not a lot, but if you've been playing for a long time, the game might kick you out due to losing connection to the server or just outright crashing. God, that guy's fast as fuck. God damn it. Okay, I was having so much fun too. This sucks because when you're playing during peak hours and the servers are pretty full, you're probably gonna have to spend some time waiting in the queue again just to join Helldivers 2. Who knows, maybe it just might be my bad luck, kicking in whenever I try to play the game, but maybe you might not even experience these if you're lucky enough. But ever since then, I don't know, I don't want to jinx myself, but it hasn't happened to me. But who knows, now that I said that, I'm probably gonna end up in the queue now. Those two are basically my biggest gripe with the game, but those can be ironed out eventually, I haven't ran into anything game breaking. Sure, sometimes the games will just glitch out and you'll see a big ass texture that's not supposed to be there, or even your character would just get stuck. It's not even a big deal either because I was able to get myself unstuck in those situations. But overall, I don't think there was anything too crazy in terms of bugs that I've noticed. But the reason why this game is getting so much hype isn't because of the glitches or the technical issues. Rather, it's actually the great game that they've made for just $40. Yeah, that's right. This game is $40. That's unheard of in the year 2024. For that price, you really get a lot of value for what you pay for. So to give you a quick rundown of what the game is all about, it's a large-scale effort that contributes to this global war effort, meaning in real time you can see how many planets across the galaxy and see if some of them are doing well or which ones aren't doing so well. So what this means for you is you can strategically plan out which planets to prioritize in order to bring the most amount of success for Super Earth, which is where you're from, and turn the tide for the human race. I've seen similar mechanics like this implemented in games like PlanetSide 2 or For Honor, so it's cool to see another game take this concept and tie it into the lore of the game. To me, it gives you a sense that your missions are contributing towards a larger goal. It makes your battles seem worthwhile, like you've accomplished something. The worlds that you get to explore are pretty cool. They can often be spooky to explore and offer some cool point of interest that offer you cool rewards or just some straight up just funny stuff. Sometimes in these foggy ass maps, the game gets a little difficult to see in my opinion, especially with the enemies that sort of blend perfectly with the environment. But over time you get used to it and they're just easier to spot. The enemies that you might encounter in this game are the real highlights of the game. There are these bugs called Terminids. I'm pretty sure that's what they're called, but those things are the ones you saw in the trailer earlier when you load into the game. I thought these guys are the main enemies that you get to fight in this game, so when I'm handing out the smoke to these enemies, I thought they're not so bad. But then, that's when I found out that there's another faction you get to fight. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, you get to fight Skynet from the Terminators. Well, they're not really called Terminators. In this game, they're called automatons, and they're scary as fuck. They are designed to end human life. They'll come at you with chainsaws, energy weapons, and even flamethrowers. You kind of have to use every advantage you can to fight these guys because they are no joke. They will end you in an instant. They're no joke. These bots will have you fighting for your life. And they'll even make you question if you're competent as a Helldiver. When you fight these guys, it seems like everything's hopeless and there's nothing you can do in terms of survival for the human race. But for me, even though I get clapped pretty badly, I think it's all part of the fun in this game. Especially when you come back as a higher level after grinding for a bit. I think it's satisfying coming back from the same mission that you got absolutely destroyed and now dishing back that same disrespect upon the bots. But for me, I can only handle so many defeats before I have to switch back to the bugs in order to bring my confidence back, because those bots, oof. Yeah, they can be mentally draining, especially if you go in with the wrong equipment and probably have some less adequate teammates to fight them with. Yeah, sometimes, I want to go back to fighting those bugs. In terms of difficulty for this game, the game will naturally progress you as you level up. So the first time you load up in this game, they're not going to put you up against stupidly difficult enemies. What the game will do is let you get accustomed to each level before it lets you unlock the next level. I just found out about this today, but you can adjust the difficulty. So if you don't feel like experiencing a suicide mission that day, you can drop it down to a lower difficulty. But just know, the higher you go, it gets pretty tough. Sometimes you question whether you're even competent enough to keep fighting in this war. Like, I fought the automatons during medium difficulty and barely survived trying to escort these civilians to safety. Like, how severe are these missions gonna be if I'm on the highest difficulty? I feel like at the state I'm currently at, if I load up on the highest difficulty, I'm pretty sure I'm just gonna get obliterated right on the spot. But luckily, I won't have to experience that difficulty yet because it's gonna take me a while to even get to that point. So by that time, I'm pretty sure I'm going to be like a very experienced Helldiver, so it might be a piece of cake for me when that time comes. Like, it won't just happen abruptly. Like, the game gives you time to adapt and gives you the sense that there is going to be hope in this never-ending galactic struggle. But then, as soon as you load up on that new difficulty, you start realizing how wrong you are. And now you're going through these roller coaster emotions where you got your ups and downs with the ever-increasing difficulty in this game. I like how this whole 10 minutes, we haven't saved any civilians yet. We've been just fending for our own lives. We're just like, fuck the civilians. We're barely holding our own. We cannot handle this right now. Or no, we're not in the best condition right now to be saving people. We can't even save ourselves. Wait, oh shit, oh god. So you might be wondering, how the fuck am I gonna turn the tide of this war? Well, the simple answer to that is they give you more stratagems and weapons to play with once you get to those higher levels. I haven't unlocked all the weapons yet, so I can't personally speak on them, but the stratagems are going to be your most valuable asset in the game. Stratagems are basically kill streaks from Call of Duty. They work on this cooldown system, so once you use them, you have to wait for the cooldown to expire before you could use it again. You can even just look at all the previews in the menu. You can get a sense of how powerful they really are. Depending on what missions you pick, you essentially want to consider what you want to bring to the battlefield, because it could be the difference between a successful mission and a devastating defeat. I'm still level 10, so I don't have much unlocked yet, but my personal favorite to use is the Eagle Airstrike, because it's really valuable, especially when you get those clusters of enemies that just spawn out of nowhere, trying to jump your ass. So all you gotta do is just call one of these bad boys in and just watch your numbers dwindle down to 0. This game does try to simulate some IRL mechanics. Like, for example, when you try to call in these kill streaks or stratagems, you have to input a code before you deploy these. It's almost like a mini game where you have to do this DDR-like Street Fighter combo every time you want to call something in. I can tell some people might be annoyed by the system, especially if you're used to just having to press one button activated, but I kind of like it, because it feels realistic inputting a code in your iPad before you call something in. During the heat of battle when I'm getting swarmed, sometimes I'll keep pressing the wrong buttons and it messes up the sequence, so I end up retyping the whole process all over again. But in my opinion, I feel like that's part of the fun in this game. This game will put you in desperate situations and you will get stressed and you will have some misinputs. So if you can't control your emotions enough to stay calm, just input a few directions on the D-pad, you're probably not going to last that long in the war effort. This mechanic is also present during times when you interact with the terminal, so you kind of have to play a little mini-game too while trying to fend off the hordes at the same time. So in these cases, you're going to need a really good teammate to watch your back while you play around with this terminal. During your missions, there is a timer on the top right. It doesn't mean that you have to extract by this time. What it actually means is that you only have a certain amount of time before the support from your ship just completely disappears, and you can't extract anymore. Once that time expires, I think you can still play on this planet, but all your stratagems and all the other stuff aren't available. So what this means for you is you have to manage your time effectively on the map in order to finish every little objective before you extract. Otherwise, I think that's it, bro. You're cooked. One thing you guys should know is this game does something differently than traditional shooters, so you should be aware. So when you reload the mag after shooting a couple of rounds, if you decide to reload right then and there, you lose all your bullets that are still in that mag. They don't get added to this magical bullet pool, similar to like Call of Duty games or like Overwatch. So you kind of have to be mindful when you reload and how often you do it. It's going to take some time to get used to, trust me, I was there. But it does get frustrating if you've developed that habit for such a long time. Having this mechanic adds to how frantic this game could get, especially if you don't manage it correctly. You'll find yourself running out of ammo pretty fast. Another sense of realism they add in the game is friendly fire. So you really gotta be mindful about where you're dumping your shots, because you might accidentally get your teammates killed. and waste some of your limited respawn deployments. This goes for the stratagems you call in. If they manage to land on top of them, they die. Or if you happen to stand in the wrong place at the wrong time when the ship lands, you also die. So yeah, a lot of things in this game can kill you pretty easily. The only times I feel like friendly fire was just straight up unfair was when another team deploys a turret. And those things don't care if you're in the way of the enemy. They will shoot your ass with no hesitation. So you can see why communication is very big in this game. Because if you don't, you can get easily shredded if you don't pay attention. This is a big issue for me because every game that I've been in, they all have their mics off, so no one ever really talks. So all I can do to fix this issue at this point is just to lay prone every time I hear someone call in a sentry turret. These are just those things that you just gotta manage. Now I could see this mechanics being annoying to some people, but I basically just see it as a stress management minigame. This game is about war, and there's no room for error because any mistake you do could cost you your life or the battle. So getting good at managing these little things like button presses or trigger discipline contributes to why it feels so rewarding to put a lot of time into this game. I also think the real fun of this game occurs from just the randomness that is bound to happen just from playing Helldivers. I kid you not, anything could happen. You could just randomly fall into a dangerous pit, or your body might just explode out of nowhere because of friendly fire. Or sometimes when you load into a new area, you're gonna see a new enemy variant that you've never seen before, and you're gonna shit your pants thinking, how the fuck am I gonna take out this guy? Like, you literally don't know what to expect from this game. If you're lucky enough to not let the internet spoil the surprises, the game just keeps you on your toes and keeps me coming back to see what else that I might have missed during my playthrough. Overall, this game is definitely worth the hype, and it's still crazy that this game isn't even a full price $70 game in 2024. Like, that's crazy, unbelievably good value for the amount of time I can see people easily spending on this game. But if you're a little hesitant on buying this game, just go ahead and buy it. It's really fun, it's worth your money, and I'm gonna need more Helldivers as soon as possible. We're not doing so well in this war effort, so we're gonna need more brave soldiers out there to spread democracy across the galaxy for Super Earth. So yeah, that's all I got for you guys today. Go ahead and like the video, and then subscribe. I'm close to hitting 500 subs, so it'd be cool if you guys could help out. But I'll see you guys on the next one.